7:03 p.m. Today is June 18, 2023. Ako sa XD part. Evening reaches Marvin Rey vlog. It's paint last dish. Sakit ang ulo guys. Ganihara ko sa gig cellphone. Nya, pag walang charge ko cellphone, ganyan alas 6 pasado. Nag-laptop ako. Oh my god. Laban. I believe maumantaan ng kids paint dedication para sa birthday ni Popon before 8 p.m. Opo. Believe me.
The shelling of Tarawa began at 5 a.m.
Wow. Timing 1050. The number of kids paint pictures. Part 2. Evening series. Hindi ako nagbibigo sa iyo, baby.
5,000 Marines set course for the beach for the first wave of attacks. The U.S. Navy stopped firing so as not to endanger the lives of its own troops. Bombers and fighter planes were now meant to serve as flying artillery and eliminate point targets on the island. But smoke and fumes obstructed their view. Many of the well-camouflaged Japanese machine gun nests and gun emplacements remained undetected. The landing craft were moving towards a still heavily defended beach. The U.S. troops were also hopelessly behind schedule. The low tide was already setting in, and many boats got stuck on the coral reef.
Sakit ang ulo, by the way. Okay guys, mag-kids paint po tayo.
The soldiers of the first attack wave had to reach the beach without any artillery support. They were easy targets for the Japanese defenders. A chaotic and ultimately life-threatening situation was developing at some of the landing sections. Coming under heavy fire, the Marines stormed the beach and tried to reach the edge of the jungle, which offered some degree of cover. The Americans counted 500 fatalities on the first day alone. After 4 days of heavy fighting, the atoll had been captured. Only a few of the 4,500 Japanese defenders surrendered. The rest died on the island. More than 1,000 Marines had also lost their lives on the beaches of Tarawa. Americans expanded the airfield to suit their requirements and put it into operation the very first day after their victory. They called it Hawkins Field after First Lieutenant William Dean Hawkins, who fell alongside many other comrades in the assault on Tarawa. News of the conquest of the Gilbert Islands had reached home. The actor Lewis Hayward captured the landing on Tarawa on film.
Bantong di wala naglungag sang kulbal kay mukaon daw unya ito ila Arwina daw balay. Baboy ng sudan. Abot lang tinuod bang giingon yang kulbal. Si Rwina do ni ingon kaya ang kulbal baboy ng sudan. I hope dili ko makalimot sa charger o sa kining isa stand dalo na ko sa balay ni Arwina. Di naman ko makatulog dito puhon na lang pag bakasyon ni Uncle Bones.
Hundreds of thousands volunteered to join the war in Europe and the Pacific. Among them, many women who joined the war effort as nurses and hospital staff. The U.S. Army and Navy maintained separate units for the nurses. These provided care and nursing for the incessant stream of wounded and sick soldiers. And even when they were deployed outside actual combat zones, they worked in constant danger. Hospitals and hospital ships were also potential targets for the enemy. October 1945. now advancing throughout the Pacific region. In the west, General MacArthur had the Philippine island of Leyte in his sights. The United States identified a key strategic position in the Philippines. By recapturing the region, it could isolate Japanese troops in China, Burma, and Indonesia, and cut them off from their other battle zones in the Pacific. The Battle of Leyte began on October 18, 1944, with the bombing of island regions and the jungle behind them. Reconnaissance planes identified the targets for the naval artillery before the fleet fired several hundred tons of shells at the island. On October 20th, 1944, the troops of the 24th U.S. Infantry Division landed on Leyte without encountering any major resistance on the island's beaches. The bridgeheads on the coast were quickly secured, and a few serious skirmishes with the Japanese defenders emerged only in the island's interior. The U.S. Army maintained the upper hand at all times. On the American side, the losses were negligible. The landing troops were also supported by several thousand Filipino guerrillas fighting at their side. The battle for the island marked the beginning of the Americans taking back control of the Philippines. Their commanding officer was getting ready to make his grand entrance. For General Douglas MacArthur, the Filipino reconquest was a personal matter. He wanted to fulfill his promise of returning to the Philippines, and finally, the time had come. However, the Japanese fleet retaliated against the Americans in the Gulf of Leyte and in the Philippine Sea.
Last session.
Losing the Philippines would be fatal for Japan. It faced losing its supply routes to occupied Indonesia, and with it, its access to oil, which was vital to the war. The Japanese Navy sent almost its entire remaining fleet into the waters surrounding Leyte. But the Americans were 3 times as powerful by number of ships alone. 8 heavy U.S. aircraft carriers cruised the Philippine Sea, accompanied by a heavy escort of 5 modern battleships. There were also as many light carriers, each carrying 50 aircraft on board. The U.S. Navy could deploy more than 1,200
Okay.
aircraft against the Tenos fleet.
Alright. Napatay part 3 guys. Thank you for